I want to tell you about an argument this house has been having with itself for a very long time. Not a loud one, obviously, it's a house, but it happens across our front hallway. Room 10 is on that side. Room 12 is on that side. And here's what I've watched happen for years. A guest stays in one of them, loves it, and on the way out tells me I should make the other one more like it. The trouble is, the guests who stayed in the other room tell me the exact same thing, just in reverse. Both sides want me to fix the other room. So today, I'm not going to fix either. I'm going to tell you why they're different. Because once you understand that, you'll know which of these two rooms is yours. If you don't know who I am, my name is Colin Pearson. I'm a 4th generation innkeeper at Stanton House Inn in Greenwich, Connecticut. Every room in this house had a life before it was a guest room. This series is about those various lives. Earlier episodes covered the rooms my family lived in, the 3rd floor servant suites, and the 2 suites on the 2nd floor. Today we're back down on the ground floor in the oldest part of the house. 2 rooms across the hall from each other, same original bones. One of them used to be where guests arrive. The other used to be where light came in. Let's start with the hall they share. This is the original 1843 core of the house, Greek Revival. The house changed again in 1900 with a renovation a lot of people who know this property can name. But for these 2 rooms, that's not really the point. The point is the plan. A central hall runs through the front of the house. The library sits on one side. The living room sits on the other. And these 2 rooms open off each of these rooms like a matched pair. Room 10's door opens toward the library on the north side. Room 12's door opens into the living room on the south side. So one belongs to the library side of the house, one belongs to the garden side. Same house, opposite instincts. The house set that up a long time ago. We've just spent about 180 years confirming it. Let's start in the library first, since I'm sitting here after all. This is room 10. It's on the ground floor, at the front of the house, just off the library. Before it was a room you slept in, it was the room you arrived in here. This was the Porte Cochere, the covered carriage drive, and it's the room our guests are most likely to come back for. A porte cochere is an open area of the house. The carriage would pull in under cover, you'd step down out of the weather, and you'd walk into the house from about where I'm sitting. When that space was enclosed and turned into a guest room, it kept something unique. You can still find traces of the original columns in the walls. I like that. It means the room remembers what it used to do. And it kept its position. It's still at the front of the house, just off the library. You get the front of house story, but the room itself still feels tucked away. For a long time, we'd have just called it our most popular room, but that undersells it. This isn't the room people settle for. It's the room they choose again and again. This room has one job. Make the first stay easy enough that people ask for it again. It doesn't do that with drama. It does it by getting everything right. Start with the light, because it's unusual, and I want to be honest about it. It's not a sun-drenched room. That's not its job. It has windows facing 2 directions, north and south. The north light comes in soft and steady, barely changing all day. The south window brings something warmer in the afternoon. So the room changes on you. Quiet in the morning, warmer by late afternoon. That's actually why we chose the colors we did. A quiet gray on the walls, a deep blue-green in the textiles, a little bronze that catches the south light late in the day. We needed colors that would look right into completely different kinds of light. You don't notice them doing that work. You just notice the room feels calmer in the morning and warmer in the evening. Then there's the bed, and this is the real reason people come back. It's a king, and guests talk about it more than you'd expect. The size, the pillows, the bedding. More than one guest has told us it's one of the largest beds they've ever slept in, unprompted, in reviews. When somebody books a room a second and a third time, there's usually one real reason under all the others. For this room, it's a good night's sleep. We finished the bathroom recently too, and that came straight out of what guests told us. The old layout was tight. The curtains didn't quite do their job, so we fixed both. There's a walk-in shower now, a glass door, and curtains that actually keep the morning out. It's not a huge bathroom. It was never going to be, but there are no loose ends in this room anymore. Room 10 is for the guest who wants to unpack once, sleep well, and never think about the room again. The repeat weekender who booked it the first time because it was free and came back because it worked so well. The couple who doesn't need a suite putting on a show. The guest who wants a genuinely excellent king room. Easy to get to, close to everything, and is done shopping around after one stay. I picture the couple who arrives a little frayed on a Friday, sleeps better than they have in months, and emails on Monday asking for the same room in the fall. Room 10 is the room people come back to because it quietly gets everything right. Now, room 10 is the front of House King, light from two directions, the bed people return for. Across the house, on the same floor, there's a room that does almost nothing the same way. It faces one direction only, and it was built around the one thing room 10 doesn't have. Hey, real quick, if any of this sounds good to you, click the link in the description for a free visitor's guide to Greenwich, Connecticut. This is room 12. If room 10 was built around arriving, this room was built around staying put, because this was the sunroom historically. Back when the house was a private home, before the stock market crash of 1929, this was the glass room that faced the garden and held the light and warmth in the winter. Same floor as room 10, completely different room. Room 12's history isn't decoration. It's the reason the whole room looks the way it does. Stand here in the morning and you understand the room right away. Every window faces south. They all look down over the garden and the pool. The light pours in the way it always did. This is the thing room 10 across the way can't do. That room gets two kinds of quiet light. This one gets the garden all day. And like room 10, it sits at the front of the house, but looks out the other way, toward the garden, not the entrance. So you get the light and the view without feeling like you're on display. For years, we leaned on the word cozy for this room, which wasn't wrong exactly. But in hotel language, cozy can start to sound like a warning label. This room isn't small. It's warm, it's calm, it faces the garden. Those are the true words, so those are the ones I use now. This room has one job to do. Follow the light it was built for. It was a sunroom, so the design leans into that, and we get out of the way. Start with the walls. They're a soft gray-green, and there's a logic to that I like. This is the color a room ends up choosing for itself when it used to be a wall of glass facing a garden. Calm and strong daylight, warmer under the lamps at dusk. It still feels a little like a sunroom, just one you can sleep in. The bed is a low steel frame, king. It's the one deliberately modern thing in the room, and it's there on purpose. Everything else is old. There are vintage wood nightstands, an antique dresser, an old chest we used to hold the television instead of some flat pack stand. The new piece provides some balance with the old pieces in the room. The room ends up feeling collected over time, not installed over a weekend. But here's the part that actually defines this room. It has a real place to sit. Not a single chair shoved in a corner so we can claim it has seating. Two swivel chairs, a wool rug, a little marble table between them, turned toward the garden. And this is the whole difference between the two rooms. Some people sleep in a room, some people use a room. They read in it, they have a coffee in it, they sit and watch the light move for an hour. This room is for that second kind of person. The bathroom's a good one too. Plenty of space, which not every old room can say. The room 12 guest notices the chair first, then the garden, then the light. It's for couples who want garden calm with an easy way in and out. It's for the reader. It's for the pool season guest who wants to wake up at garden height in July. It's for the person who wants to feel the light, the garden, and the house all at once. It's less suited to the guest who wants a completely neutral hotel room. This one has a point of view. But if you want a room with one, there's nothing else like it in the house. I picture the guest who gets back from Greenwich Avenue in the afternoon, turns a chair toward the window, and stops looking at their phone for a while. Room 12 is the room you book when you want to feel the light, the garden, and the house all at once. So now you've seen both rooms, room 10 and room 12. And after years of this, I can tell you almost nobody loves them equally. People pick a side. The room 10 person wants to unpack once, sleep well, and never think about the room again. They want the bed to be right and arrival to be easy. They don't need the room to have a strong opinion. They need it to be reliable. And it is. Room 12 people notice the chair first, then the garden, then the light. They want warmth and a view and somewhere to actually sit. They don't want neutral. They want a room with a point of view they can settle into. And here's that pattern from the start of the episode. A guest stays in room 10, loves the bed and the ease of it all, and tells me to make room 12 more like it. More neutral, less opinionated. A guest stays in room 12, falls for the light and that chair, and tells me to make room 10 look more like that. Warmer, greener, more to sit in. They're both giving me the same advice. They just can't agree on which room needs it. For a while, I thought that was a problem to solve, that maybe the two rooms should meet in the middle. But that's exactly wrong. Neither of those guesses is wrong. They're just different people who want different things. The rooms are doing their jobs by being opposites. If I split the difference, I wouldn't get 2 rooms that everybody likes, I'd get 2 rooms that nobody loves. There's a design idea under all of this that I think is the whole episode. The house already gave each room a job, we just tried to listen. In 1843, this house put 2 rooms on opposite sides of the hall. One pointed toward the front door with 2 kinds of light, the other toward the garden with one steady south-facing wall of windows. That decision got made long before any of us got here. Room 10 answered with trust. The bed, the ease, the reliability. Room 12 answered with plenty of light, the garden, the chair by the window. Same house, same hall, 2 different answers, and they both work because neither one tried to be the other. So if you're choosing between them, here's the honest version. Pick room 10 if you want the room our guests keep coming back to. The king bed they can't stop talking about. Light from 2 directions across the day. Easy arrival, close to everything, nothing left undone, and you can spill out into the library if you want. Pick room 12 if you want the former sunroom. South facing, over the garden and the pool. Soft green walls that warm up at dusk, and a real chair by a real window, for the kind of guest who actually sits in a room instead of just sleeping in it. Both of them came out of the same original core of this house. They've been across the house from each other since 1843, and they still can't agree on what a good room is supposed to be, which is fine. Because between the 2 of them, they've got an answer for just about everybody. Now, if one of these sounds like the way you travel, you'll find photos and booking details linked below. And if you want to keep seeing how we think about this old house, there are a lot more rooms with stories I'd love to tell. Thanks for watching.